tonight's live stream, we're talking about polyvagal theory and anxiety, how hypnotherapy can help to improve vagal tone and reduce anxiety. So anxiety, as I've spoken about on previous videos, when you experience anxiety, you're experiencing symptoms that are designed to get you out of life or death situation. Sweating enables you to cool down, heart rate increases, getting the blood pumping around your body so you can either fight back or run away. And the vagus nerve and improving vagal tone, you can think of it like a muscle. It's not a muscle, it's a nerve. It's the largest nerve in your body. Vagus means wandering in Latin. So it wanders throughout your body, connects your brain to all of your organs. And recent research into this nerve and its functions show that it plays a role on your anxiety levels. It plays a role on making you feel safe. And through something called neuroception, I believe I said that right, your nervous system is constantly scanning the environment, looking for signs of danger. And it does this completely subconscious level. You're not even aware that it's happening. So that's all the stuff we're going to be discussing tonight. Let me know in the chat box. Do you ever feel like your stress response has a kind of on-off switch? Let me know if you've ever experienced anything like that down below. And whilst you're letting me know about that, I'm going to check my notes and see what we'll be discussing next. You have 3 different nervous system states. You could think of it like a ladder. The purpose of overcoming anxiety through polyvagal theory is to move up that ladder. So let's have a look at the different states on that level, on the ladder. So the first state is that ventral vagal. That's the top of the ladder. In that state, you're going to be feeling safe. You're going to be feeling social. You're going to be calm. You're going to be relaxed. Next on the ladder, one rung below the social state on the ladder, is the sympathetic. That's the fight or flight response. That's when you're going to be experiencing those symptoms of anxiety that are designed to get you out of life or death situations. That increased heart rate, gets the blood pumping, as I said, sweating enables you to cool down. And people who experience a lot of anxiety, they often find that they experience more colds, more illnesses than other people. Because if you were really in a life or death situation, the last thing you'd need to worry about is the flu or a virus or something. So that energy is diverted from your immune response to enable you to make your escape. So reduced immune response is another symptom of anxiety. And at the bottom of the ladder We have the dorsal vagal. That is when you may freeze, you may shut down, become completely overwhelmed. So the idea, as I said, is to move up that ladder from the dorsal vagal to the top of the ladder, where you're going to be feeling calm, sociable, relaxed. So you can think of vagal tone, as I said, you can think of it like a muscle. It's not a muscle. The vagus nerve is a nerve, but vagal tone, you can think of that as how quickly you can move from the bottom of that ladder, from the dorsal vagal state all the way up to the top of the ladder. I think that was the ventral vagal state. And the quicker you can do that, the healthier your muscles are. Like the quicker you can react to something, quicker you can pick something up, the healthier your muscles are. So with polyvagal theory, we want to strengthen that response. We want to improve the tone so that you can move from that stress state to that calm state as quickly as possible. High vagal tone equals resilience. So how can hypnotherapy help? Well, hypnotherapy is a focused state of attention. And as you've probably heard me say before, if you're regular on this channel, your mind can't tell the difference between a real or an imagined event. So just by imagining yourself the way you want to be, you actually create new neural pathways in your brain. The more you imagine yourself that way, the stronger those neural pathways become, the more you'll start to become that person. And hypnotherapy can be a very relaxing state. The more you take time to relax, the easier it becomes to relax. So the more you take time to relax, you've heard me speak about before, no doubt, it will re-regulate your brain. It will shrink the size of your amygdala, increase the size of your neocortex. It will also improve that vagal tone, allowing you to go from that stress state to the relaxed state more quickly. So hypnotherapy, we're going to send a signal of safety to your subconscious mind. And the vagus nerve interprets these signals of deep relaxation. It says, okay, the information that's being taken in tells us that we're safe, that it's safe, and it moves you out of that fight or flight response. So if you think of the vagus nerve like a muscle, you can think of hypnotherapy as the gym for that muscle. But other things you can do to move from that dorsal vagal state to the relaxed state, to move up that ladder. One of the things you can do is to hum. You can hum, similar to EFT. We have the humming happy birthday. You can hum whatever you want, your favourite tune. You can also sigh. At the start of hypnotherapy sessions, I often encourage people to take a deep breath in all the way down into their stomach and let it out with a nice big sigh. This is very relaxing. So humming stimulates the vagus nerve and vocal cords. A little exercise I'd like to share with you now. Take a deep breath in for the count of 2, and then let it out either with a big sigh for the count of 4, or hum for the count of 4. What else we can do? Spoke about your nervous system. Constantly scanning for threats, called neuroception. We can do what's called a neuroception reset. Scan around the room as though you're looking for threats, but do it really slowly. And when you find something interesting, look at it and smile. This is going to, again, tell the nervous system that the information the senses are taking in says it's safe. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be looking around slowly. You'd be darting your eyes around, looking all over the place for threats. You wouldn't be smiling. You'd be very concerned. So, something else you can do. And yeah, let me know which of those exercises you found most helpful. Let me know in the chat box and comments which of those exercises helped you reset your vagus nerve, helped you feel calm, more relaxed. So to summarize, anxiety relief isn't just about thinking more positive thoughts, it's about re-regulating your nervous system, re-regulating your brain. It's about starting to see yourself as someone who's calm, who's relaxed, and through hypnotherapy, polyvagal theory, we can do that. You go to my website, markstubbles.com, you can download the free depression and anxiety workbook. You can also download the free inner child healing workbook. I've spoken before about how inner child healing can help with anxiety, help make your inner child feel safe, feel secure. So go to my website, have a look at those workbooks. So with polyvagal theory, you have the power to communicate safety to your body. As I said, you can do that by humming, by breathing out for longer than you were breathing in, because if you were in a life or death situation, you wouldn't be breathing out for longer than you're breathing in, by slowly scanning around the room and smiling. Again, if you were in a life or death situation, you wouldn't be looking around slowly, you'd be dashing your eyes about all over the place, and you wouldn't be smiling. So by doing that, you're telling the nervous system that the information your senses are taking in says it's safe. And what would you like me to do a live on in the future? Let me know in the chat box and comments what you'd like to see me do a live on in the coming days. Let me know. It's a good suggestion. I may well do the live on it. And which of the 3 states I spoke about, the dorsal vagal, the sympathetic, or the ventral vagal do you feel you spend most time in? So again, the dorsal vagal is freeze, overwhelmed. The sympathetic or sympathetic is the fight or flight response with the pounding heart, the sweating, feelings of anxiety. And then finally, the ventral vagal, where you're feeling calm, sociable, happy. Let me know which of those states do you spend most time in. And thank you for watching tonight. As I said, let me know what you'd like to see me speak about in the future. Thank you very much and see you next time.